Hello, Commanders fans. Today, we have some hot news you can't miss, so get ready because there's a lot of important information coming your way. Before we begin, we'd like to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and stay up to date with all the latest news about our Washington Commanders. Don't forget to leave a like, which really strengthens our community and helps bring this content to the team's most passionate fans. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news. Commanders have a golden opportunity to steal a rising star from a division rival. This is something to consider. It appears that Washington Commanders head coach Dan Quinn will rely primarily on two veterans, Von Miller and Jacob Martin, to boost the passing game in 2025. But there's another way for Adam Peters to inject some youthful exuberance into this unit. Miller's credibility is undeniable, and Martin has had moments of high interest in his career. But the fact is, they are 36 and 29 years old, respectively, and both signed one-year contracts. In the 6th round of this year's draft, Peters overlooked several potential hidden gems to select UCLA linebacker Kane Medrano. He made the roster and is expected to be a key backup and special teams player this year, so it's hard to complain too much about that pick. But it did mean the general manager overlooked a void he could have filled. Now he has the chance to correct that flaw and potentially hurt a rival at the same time. The Brass should consider signing Antwan Powell-Ryland from the Eagles practice squad. When Medrano was drafted, there were still 3 very interesting edge rushers on the board. None of them were a top-tier player like Abdul Carter. They wouldn't have lasted until the 6th round if they hadn't had a red flag or 2. Antwan Powell-Ryland, drafted a few spots after Medrano, ended up not being included on his team's roster. But there's a caveat. He was selected by the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that values offensive and defensive lines in the draft more than any other club in the league. Despite losing players like Josh Sweat and Milton Williams to free agency this year, the Eagles are constantly replenishing their line and edge positions through the draft. Powell-Ryland is currently stuck behind recent draft picks like Moro Ojomo and Jalix Hunt, and Philadelphia would like to keep him on their practice squad until they need him to fill a role. Peters should disrupt those plans. Powell-Ryland played 3 years at Florida before becoming a pass-rushing force at Virginia Tech. In his final 2 seasons with the Hokies, he recorded 25.5 sacks, the most among any FBS player in that span. 9-year NFL veteran considered suitable for Commanders. When the Washington Commanders finalized their 53-man roster on August 26th, one position group immediately stood out. The team had just 5 wide receivers on the final roster, and potentially in Week 1 against the New York Giants. That number seems dangerously low in today's NFL. Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel form a strong and dynamic duo for Washington, but the depth behind them raises significant questions. That's where Kendrick Bourne enters the conversation. Before the New England Patriots released Bourne on April 27th, NFL insider Lake Lewis Jr. had already predicted a potential Washington signing as early as August 26th in various media outlets. Lewis pointed to the Commanders' lack of depth and Bourne's previous connection with general manager Adam Peters as reasons why the move made sense. Just a day later, Bourne's release made that prediction even more relevant. The timing seems almost too perfect. Washington needs a veteran wideout who can step in and provide immediate depth, and Bourne needs a new home where his skills are valued. Peters' connection strengthens the fit. Peters knows Bourne well. During their time together in San Francisco, Peters helped bring Bourne to the 49ers as an undrafted free agent in 2017. Bourne quickly earned a reputation as a reliable target who thrived in critical moments and played better than his role suggested. This track record matters, especially as the front office searches for reliable reinforcements late in the offseason and just before the start of the regular season. Bourne's style would also fit perfectly with Washington's current offense. At 6 feet 1 inch, with strong hands and excellent route running ability, he can play on the outside or in the slot. His versatility would complement McLaurin's big play ability and Samuel's all-around skills, while also giving star quarterback Jaden Daniels another reliable option. Off the field, Bourne brings energy and leadership to any locker room. Washington's offense is still developing its chemistry, and a veteran presence like Bourne can provide much-needed stability for the receiving core. Why the Commanders need Bourne now? The Commanders can't afford to take risks with such a thin receiver rotation. An injury could leave Daniels without target options, which isn't the scenario head coach Dan Quinn or offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury want in their second season together. Bourne offers the kind of insurance policy that not only fills the roster, but also bolsters the entire position. With Peters' familiarity, Bourne's proven production, and Lewis's initial prediction that he would be the ideal fit, the potential signing seems like a decision Washington should make sooner rather than later. Report: Steelers expected to trade former coach. After a difficult preseason, the Pittsburgh Steelers may trade linebacker Cole Holcomb before the start of the 2025 regular season. According to a report, a source predicted the Steelers would trade Holcomb before the roster cut deadline, but it's not too late. Since recovering from his injury after not playing a single down during the entire 2024 season, Holcomb hasn't looked like himself, and the Steelers could potentially receive a late-round draft pick if they want to offload him. The Steelers re-signed him this offseason, and at 29, it will likely be difficult for the team to re-sign him once he's eligible for a new deal. A 2019 NFL draft pick, the former North Carolina defensive end was hoping for a resurgence this offseason, but other talents have emerged. With T.J. Watt's impressive extension and the signing of linebacker Malik Harrison as a backup, it's difficult to envision Holcomb's future beyond the 2025 season. Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson could take over the starting job this season, and if that happens, it would mean fewer snaps for Holcomb, something he must avoid if he wants a future in Pittsburgh. If the Steelers are comfortable with Wilson, Queen, Harrison, and Mark Robinson, they should put him on the trade list, and these four teams could pursue Holcomb. Report: Steelers expected to trade former Commander Cole Holcomb, suitors emerge. Best fits: Washington Commanders. Despite signing Von Miller this offseason, the Washington Commanders may need to replace at least two of their linebackers after the 2025 regular season. Miller and Bobby Wagner shouldn't be expected to play more than 2 seasons in their senior careers. That would leave Dominique Hampton to fill in a lot of gaps and a dominant Frankie Louvu. However, they must resolve the situation now, before the season starts. Holcomb has been part of this defense before, and while he wasn't as flashy, he managed to reshape his second tenure. Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys suffered a major blow to their defense after the Micah Parsons trade. There should be light at the end of the tunnel, and even if they don't use any of their first-round picks on Holcomb, they could trade a later draft pick. Between Kenneth Murray Jr. and Jack Sanborn, the Cowboys have some unproven talent here. So, why not make a trade? Dallas really has nothing left to lose, as the team could be sinking